Serviflex shall only be used as a dead insertion technique. It has similar performance characteristics to 20mm PE pipe, but the pipe is not designed to be laid in any open ground. Serviflex shall only be undertaken on 1-inch diameter metallic surfaces operating at low pressure, supplying domestic properties. The service disconnection insertion point shall be a minimum of 2 meters from the building. This technique should not be used on dual services unless the gas load demand can be achieved. The maximum length of service that can be inserted using this technique is 12 meters. Maximum pressure loss for the proposed total length of service pipe shall be determined in accordance with Table B3 in TPR SL1. An approved National Grid volt stick is to be used on any exposed metallic pipework you may come into contact with. The Serviflex pipe can be readily inserted through 3 tight knuckle elbows depending on the condition of the service pipe, or up to 6 long radius bends. The service pipe is to be disconnected in the garden using an approved method. The emergency control valve should be closed and arrangements made for the meter to be disconnected. Remove emergency control valve. Deburr the steel pipe in the house, and also making sure you deburr the steel pipe in the garden. Making sure the line of the service has been accurately traced from the main to meter to check its suitability with the chosen replacement technique. Fit the union with long sweep elbow and launch tube at the service entry end. Noting service pipes containing siphons are not suitable for replacement using Serviflex insertion technique. A rubber stopper is to be fitted to the 12-meter spring. A wire brush can be used if the service is in poor condition and requires cleaning. Apply grease to the elbow stopper prior to inserting from the ECV position and probe the service. Apply a short, sharp stabbing action to get around the bends. Count the number of bends the stopper goes round. Continue with this process until the stopper exits the service pipe in the garden excavation. The brass towing ball can be fitted to the spring once the rubber stopper has been removed. The guide string can now be attached to the brass boat towing ball. The 12-meter spring can now be marked by using PTFE tape. This will allow you to measure the overall length of service that is to be inserted. Remove the guide string and towing ball from the spring. Using the spring and the PTFE marking, now measure and cut a length of yellow Serviflex pipe, making sure you add an extra 2 meters. now remove the PTFE tape from the spring. Secure the Serviflex pipe into the tension gun using the wing nuts on top of the clamp. The overall length of Serviflex pipe can now be measured. Attach the brass towing head to the end of the spring. Insert the spring into the Serviflex pipe until the towing head is located into the Serviflex pipe securely. Position a wire twist tie wrap in the end convolution and tighten with the supplied tool. Cut off the loops and fold the protruding wire flat against the pipe using the long nose pliers. The 12-metre spring can now be threaded through the guide on the tension gun and secured firmly with the white wing nuts in the tension travel arm, ensuring the travel arm is in the start position. The Serviflex has to be tensioned at a rate of 20mm per 1 metre of pipe being inserted. The tension marks are graduated at 20mm intervals. The length of Serviflex pipe being inserted on this demonstration is 5 metres. This means the travel arm must pass 5 large marks. The process to achieve this is shown. Feed the guide spring through the pushing guide and insert the push guide into the launch tube. Attach the guide spring to the towing head. Apply grease to the towing head and insert the pipe into the launch tube. The Serviflex is to be pushed into the service using the push guide. When going round bends, a short, sharp stabbing action is required, remembering to allow 1 metre of pipe to protrude at the garden end. With help from another member of staff, the guide string is to be guided gently at the garden end. Remember not to pull the pipe through, but to guide it. The tension gun can now be released and removed. The guide string and towing head can now be removed from the end of the Serviflex pipe and the spring. The spring can now be removed from the Serviflex pipe. You can now remove the push guide, launch tube, long sweep elbow and union from the service. carefully remove the service head adapter from its packaging. You will find the assembly instructions on the packaging. It is important that it has a yellow stiffener. Cut the Serviflex approximately 6 inches above the steel service pipe. Securely fit the base of the service head adapter onto the steel service pipe, making sure the sealing rubber and plastic washer is positioned correctly. Cut the Serviflex pipe 1 convolution above where it protrudes from the service head adapter. Insert the yellow stiffener into the Serviflex pipe. Apply the metal fire washer and fit the top of the service head adapter and tighten. Make sure the solid plug is left loose. Cut the Serviflex at the garden end, leaving approximately 9 inches. Carefully remove the garden fitting from its packaging. Again, you will find the fitting instructions on the back of the packaging. Install the garden fitting, making sure all the rubbers and washers are in the correct order as shown. Cut the Serviflex pipe 1 convolution from where it protrudes out of the garden fitting. Insert the yellow stiffener. emergency control valve. Using the spring and attachments, check service for no constrictions. After attaching the test bung onto the garden fitting, the Serviflex can now be tested as shown. A 100 millibar air test is to be applied for 5 minutes with no drop allowed. On completion of a successful air test, close and cap the ECV. Remove the test bung from the garden fitting. Choose an appropriate annular sealant and fill the annular gap as shown. When the annular gap between the steel service pipe and the Serviflex has been filled, recheck the inserted Serviflex for any constrictions as shown. The rest of the garden fitting can now be assembled and the PE pipe attached. It is important to fit the sealing rubber and washers in the correct order. A white stiffener is to be inserted into the PE pipe. It is important to remember a final air test must be carried out on the full service on completion. If live service insertion is used to complete the service relay, leak detection fluid must be used on the final connection to prove the seal.